morning, students. Today I am going to start chapter number 7, Civilizing the Native, Educating the Nations. So students, according to new syllabus, now Civilizing the Native and Educating the Nation is chapter number 7. Okay? So my dear students, in my previous explanation that how British rule affected the life and the political activities of Rajas and Nawabs and also affect the life of peasants and tribals. So students, now in this chapter we will try to understand that what type of rules and regulation implemented by the British government for students and also for Indian way of study and learning. Okay? As I told you that Britishers in India wanted not only the territorial conquest and control over revenues. They also felt that they had a cultural mission also, and Indians are uneducated, and it is the responsibility of Britishers to educate them. Okay? And also Indians are not civilized, and it is the responsibility to civilize them. Okay? So students, on the basis of above detail, now topic number 1 is how the British saw education. Okay? So students, in this chapter we will look and study that how the British thought and did, and how some of the ideas of education that we are following nowadays even evolved in the last 200 years. Okay? And students, in this chapter we will also see that how Indians reacted to British ideas and how they developed their own views about how Indians were to be educated. Okay? And they had a cultural mission and had to civilize the natives, change their customs and values. Okay? So after that, your next topic is the tradition of Orientalism. And students, the meaning of Orientalism means expansion of scholarly knowledge of the language and culture. Okay? So students, in 1783, William Jones arrived in Calcutta, who was a linguist. And students, the meaning of linguist is someone who knows and studies several languages. Okay? So he had studied Greek and Latin at Oxford University and also knew French and English, Arabic and Persian. And when he came in India, at Calcutta, he started learning Sanskrit language, grammar and poetry. After some time later, soon he was studying ancient Indian texts on law, philosophy, religion, politics, morality, arithmetic, medicine, and the other sciences. So students, now you can understand how he was very much wise and clever. Okay? So students, after some time later, Jones discovered that his interests were shared by many British officials who were living in Calcutta at that time. Englishmen like Henry Thomas, Colebrook, and Nathaniel Halhed were also busy discovering the ancient Indian heritage. Okay? So, together with them, Jones set up the Asiatic Society of Bengal and started a journal called Asiatic Researches. And Jones and Colebrook went about discovering ancient texts and understanding their meaning, translating them, and making their findings known to others. Okay? And students, also they believed this project would help the British learn from Indian culture and also help Indians. Alright? So students, as I told you that they believe this project would help the British learn from Indian culture and also help Indians rediscover their own heritage and understand the lost glories of their past. And in this process, the British would become the guardians of Indian culture as well as its masters. Alright? So students, influenced by such ideas, many company officials argued that the British ought to promote Indian rather than Western learning. It means some Indians said that Britishers wanted to introduce and expand British culture and language in India. Rather than they are not promoting Indian languages. Alright? And they felt that institution should be set up to encourage the study of ancient Indian texts and teach Sanskrit and Persian literature and poetry. So students, finally in 1781, a madrasa, and the students, meaning of madrasa is an Arabic word for a place of learning, any type of school or college, especially related to the study of Arabic, Persian and Islamic law. So this was set up in Calcutta to promote the study of Islam. Alright? And after that, also in 1791, the Hindu College was established in Banaras to encourage the study of ancient Sanskrit texts, that would be useful for the administration of the country. But students, not all officials shared these views, and many criticized the Orientalists that this is not a way to teach or civilize the Indians. Okay? After that, your next topic is grave errors of the East. So students, from the starting of 19th century, many British officials began to criticize the Orientalist point of view or vision of learning. According to them, knowledge of the East was full of errors and unscientific thought. It means Britishers wanted to introduce their own culture and learning pattern in India. And as I told you above to you that these three Orientalists set up madrasa and also Hindu college in Calcutta and Banaras to educate the languages of India and culture, and also about to know the past of the Muslims and Hindus. But some British officials were against that kind of way of education. Okay? So students, James Mill, who was one of those who criticized or attacked the Orientalist and declared that the aim of education ought to be to teach what was useful and practical. It means, and James Mill declared that should not be to teach what the natives wanted or what they respected in order to happy them or please them and win a place in their heart. The aim of education ought to be to teach what was useful and practical. Okay? So, Indians should be made familiar with the scientific and technical advances that the West had made, rather than with the poetry and sacred literature of the Orient. Okay? After that, by the 1830s, the criticism on the Orientalist became sharper. And students, here I want to clear one thing. The word native stands for the original Indians. Alright? So, in this series, Thomas Babington Macaulay saw Indian or India as an uncivilized country that needed to be civilized. According to him, no branch of Eastern knowledge could be compared to what England had produced. So, students, finally, Macaulay gave importance to the need to teach the English language because he felt that knowledge of English would allow Indians to read some of the finest literature the world had produced. and it would make them aware of the developments in Western science and philosophy. So, in this way, we can civilize people and can change their taste, values, and culture of Indians. Alright? That's why finally in 1835 the English Education Act was introduced. Okay? And the decision was to make English the medium of instruction for higher education and to stop the promotion of Oriental institutions like the Calcutta Madrasa and Banaras Sanskrit College. Okay? And also these institutions were seen by attackers or people who criticized the Orientalists that this is the temples of darkness that were falling of themselves into decay. And after some time later, English textbooks now began to be produced for schools. Alright? After that, your next topic is education for the commerce. So students, to spread the education of commerce, in 1854, the Court of Directors of the East India Company in London sent an educational dispatch or educational order to the Governor General in India, and this rule to be known as Wood's Dispatch, which emphasized once again the practical education or practical benefits of a system of European learning as opposed or criticized to Oriental knowledge. Okay? And they said that it means British officials said that European learning would enable Indians to recognize the advantages that flow or expand from the expansion of trade and commerce, and make them see the importance of developing the resources of the country. So students, Wood's dispatch also argued that European learning would improve the moral character and new knowledge and new information of Indians and would make them truthful and honest, because as I told you above that Britishers said that Indians are living like a tribals, they are not civilized, and also they don't know anything about the new knowledge, science and modern world. Okay? So students, finally following the 1854 dispatch, education departments of the government were set up to extend control over all matters regarding to education. And many steps were taken by the Britishers to establish a system of university education. And finally, in 1857, while the Sepoys rose revolt against the Britishers in Meerut and Delhi, universities were being established in Calcutta, Madras and Bombay. And Britishers also made to bring about changes within the system of school education of India. And students, overall, finally, we can say on the basis of above explanation that Britishers wanted to teach Indians as well as they wanted, because they had required educated and civilized people to do work in the East India Company at a very low salary, and also they wanted to know about the Indian system. Okay, students, for today's that's all. Thank you and have a nice day.